ESPN Central Texas, the flagship station for Baylor Athletics.
Ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and driven to right center field. Racing into the alley is Logan Brown, and it's over his head. Oh, he dives and he makes the catch. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's over his head, but he lays out and he makes a spectacular catch in right center field to end the inning. No runs, a hit, and the tying run is left on base.
The John Morris Show is brought to you by Gloff Ford in Clifton, University Mazda Kia, and by the Baylor Bear Foundation.
Here's the pitch, swung on and grounded to the third baseman call. He goes to second for 1. The relay throw to first. It's dug out in time, and that's your ball game. It wasn't clean, but it's a 5-4-3 double play, and the ball game is over. The Bears have won it.
Now live from Baylor Ballpark, here's the voice of the Baylor Bears, John Morris.
Tom Barfield with the calls from yesterday in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Baylor finished up that game from Sunday, won it over Oklahoma State 2-1. Dropped the last game of the series yesterday, but here we are, another day and another game. 4th game in 4 days for the Bears. Back in action this afternoon here at Baylor Ballpark, hosting the Lamar Cardinals. Welcome in. Glad you're with us. Coming to you live from the beautiful Baylor Ballpark, looking out over the Brazos River today. Lamar is on the field taking batting practice right now. Baylor will get in the cage about 2:30, bottom of the hour, but the stretch continues for the Bears. You know, the series against Oklahoma State originally Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is the norm in Big 12 play, but because of weather or impending weather, they pushed it to Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Still had some weather issues on Sunday, but did get all 3 games in, and the Bears won 1 of the 3 against the now 17th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. Playing a Lamar team from the Southland Conference that comes in 18-21. They are 7-11. That is good for 9th place in the Southland Conference standings. Cody Hessemer will start for Baylor on the mound today. The junior right-hander, the transfer from MCC, is 3-1 and 8.38 ERA, making his 3rd start on the year. For Lamar, a guy named Eric Fauché will start. He's a freshman, a right-hander. He's 2-3 on the season. A 6.33 ERA from Viter is Eric Fauché. So that's the matchup, Baylor and Lamar coming up. And as we normally do on Tuesdays, and a little different today, because we've got a day game and we're at Baylor Ballpark, usually visit with a member of the Baylor baseball coaching staff, and it still works out. Here is Adam Revelette, who is with us, comes up to the press box, and I'm glad this worked out. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem, John. It's a good view you got going on up here.
Pretty nice, huh?
I'm trying to think of how I might be able to call pitches from up here, but I don't know if that's going to work out.
Don't give away all our secrets,
right,
but it is
right.
Pretty nice. Windows are closed now, but they'll be open, of course, once we get here. And it's a tough stretch for you guys when it ends up pushing that Oklahoma State series. You end up playing 4 games over 4 days.
Yeah, it's baseball, and especially when we go up to Stillwater, it's never a dull moment in terms of the weather. Last time we were there, we took off on Sunday. We didn't even play because there was snow on the ground and snow in the air, and they came to our place last year, and we had all sorts of wind and crazy rain and delays and all sorts of stuff like that, and we pushed the series back a day this year, and the first night we were there, we actually encountered an earthquake at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Really? I hadn't heard about that, no.
I think it was a 3.1 magnitude earthquake.
Wow.
It was about 6 miles away from Stillwater.
Wow.
And it's just hilarious walking around the next day and asking guys if they felt the earthquake and then asking them what they thought it originally was. So Coach Smith and Coach Johnigan thought somebody was sneaking into their room, and most of the guys thought it was a prank from their roommate that was in there, and I thought I had kind of like twitched myself awake, and just it was crazy. But anyways, we competed well, and 4 games in 4 days is a little bit unusual for college baseball. It's taxing on pitching staffs, but for our hitters and for the guys that play every day in terms of the regulars, this is what they want to do. They want to play professional baseball one day.
Yeah.
So if you can't do four games in 4 days, then it's going to be a challenge for you to play professionally, and that's kind of how outlook is for us right now, and just trying to play it one pitch at a time to the best of our abilities.
I'm guessing you had to, to keep in mind you had 4 games in 4 days with your pitching all weekend, didn't you? I mean, obviously you do whatever you had to beat Oklahoma State and win those games, but you sort of had to have in the back of your mind, hey, we got another game as soon as we get back.
It is, and you're right. And the tough part about this particular stretch with 4-4 is that the second one got rained out when Drew Tolson, our starter, was at 70 pitches.
Right.
So he's
and
in the
pitching
6th
really
inning
well
there, and he's really throwing well, and he's really come on lately for us, just really competing and throwing 3 pitches for strikes and not getting beat in counts and situations where he's doesn't want to get beat and things like that. So, that's another inning or 2 or, maybe even the whole game that Drew might be able to stay in if we don't get that rain delay. But like I said, that's baseball, and the other teams have to deal with that too. And surely we kind of had in mind yesterday going through the game plan of getting different guys work and who's going to get stretched out today and who's going to be able to need a day off and things like that. So Cody was the guy that's the choice. He's done a good job for us in spurts where he needs to come in and throw 3 or 4 innings and just finish a ball game. And that's why you kind of see the higher ERA numbers and different things like that because, normally you wouldn't ask him to do that. He could be one time through the lineup, and he's had a couple good starts before, but he's done a good job just being a real good team guy, and he's got a chance to get around this lineup, I think, once or maybe twice tonight.
You mentioned Drew Tolson, how well he pitched, then unfortunately suspended by rain, so you had to get somebody else up there and ready. Brad Kuntz was that guy as you finished the game yesterday. Man, he pitched really well, didn't he?
Yeah, and Brad's one of our guys, and everybody knows it, and he was on his way to probably an all-conference season last year before he blew out, and he's right at about 13 months from that Tommy John surgery, and he is really throwing well, and he's starting to feel everything, more consistently and with his secondary pitches, and he's getting used to the new type of soreness that he has now with that new ligament in there. And, he went in there and he battled 3 2/3 innings. He threw 54 pitches. He got ahead in the count. He got the guys out that we needed to and was able to sort of sail through the rest of the lineup and of a very competitive team in Oklahoma State. And, while it's not, a huge advantage for us to not be able to start Brad on a weekend, it was essentially a start for him in a 3-inning deal since we're trying to control and manage his pitch count moving forward. And we're able to win a game because of it.
Good. All right, you guys coming in today, 15-24, and conference games are obviously of paramount importance, but every game is really important now. Just looking for wins here in April, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. When you have a young team like we do, there's a couple different things that you really need to focus on and remember, I think, from a coaching staff standpoint. The first is when you talk about that big C word, there's a few different ones in baseball, but confidence is one of them that we talk about, and confidence comes with winning games. It doesn't matter if it's against Oklahoma State or if against Lamar or if it's against really anybody at this level. Once our freshmen, sophomores, guys that have not played very much, realize success and just sort of identify with it in this new environment, then they can build off that for future years to come. Another big one of those C words is, I could go through it. I'm going to go competitiveness. Is another big one.
All right.
It teaches
I'm
you to
writing
compete.
this down now.
Yeah. These guys, Lamar, they're going to play tough. They're going to play hard, and it's our challenge to play just as hard and just as tough as they do. They come here in this type of ballpark, and like you said, it's just a beautiful day and beautiful stadium, and they want to come in here and beat us.
Yeah.
So we have to take that seriously. We have to really compete, and we have to just battle one pitch at a time.
Is this game earlier? It's a 4:00 start this afternoon. Is it earlier to help them get back on the road and get back to Beaumont at a decent hour, or is there something else to that?
I would suppose that it is. I know we had considered moving the game back to Wednesday, but the rain and the forecast just wouldn't really allow us to do that.
Okay.
I don't really know what day or time it is right now at all. We get back at midnight last night, and we think, you think it's Sunday. Wait, it's Monday because we moved the series back a day and all those different things. But, it is a chance for them to get back on a school night at a decent hour and go from there. That's why they were able to come here early to hit BP on the field first, which is flipped from what it is usually. But, that'll let them get back and get it going again for the rest of their week.
All right, look ahead. You're not looking past Lamar, but look ahead to the weekend. Kansas State comes in. Man, that's a key series for your guys. You're right now tied with Kansas State in the Big 12 standings.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. They've got a competitive team. They always have been. They've been right. They've enjoyed the ups and downs of baseball just as much as anybody has in the past couple of years, from winning the conference a couple of years ago to being picked to win the conference the next year, and then to being the only team that doesn't make it to the tournament last year. So it's an up and down deal for them, and they've got a veteran coaching staff that's done a really good job with those guys, and those guys are going to compete. So we need to come here ready to play on the weekend and sort of hold serve on our home field and continue to battle.
All right, you've got 3 conference series remaining. K-State at home this week, at Kansas after that, then a week off, and then Texas here to close the regular season. Is one of the goals, I mean, this sort of goes without saying, but is one of your goals to make the Big 12 tournament? Because, as you know, Baylor and Oklahoma are the only 2 schools that have made every Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, that's definitely a goal of ours. It's not something that we as a coaching staff have really looked at. We know that we're not near the top of the Big 12 standings, but we know that we can do some different things to get right back in the middle of it. So in terms of watching scoreboards and doing stuff like that, we're not at that point at all. And you really can't be, in college baseball, because like we said, once you get into that or start thinking about that, you forget that you're playing Lamar today, and they're here to do one thing, and that's beat us. So absolutely, that's a goal, is to qualify and try to make a little run in the Big 12 tournament. But we can't control that today, so we'll do the best we can to beat Lamar.
All right, very good. Hey, appreciate the visit. Glad it worked out. Look forward to the game this afternoon.
No problem. Enjoy it.
All right, Adam Revelette with us, Baylor assistant coach here at Baylor Ballpark.